So you say you want love, success, attention, but are you really comfortable being seen for who you truly are? Welcome to the Daddy Academy. That's a tough one to hear sometimes. I know we all kind of feel this way in one way or another, whether it's our relationships and dating, or even our personal or professional life. Like maybe you're trying to start a business, trying to be a content creator. I mean, that's sort of how I've been thinking about this recently. I've been talking to a lot of you, and sort of that fear of being seen and shying away from being your authentic self is something that is scary in dating, because you kind of have to be you and be okay with someone getting to know you and getting past those pain points or those parts about yourself that maybe you don't love, those things you're working on. And when it comes to me and this content I'm making and whatnot, the fear of being seen, like saying the things that I feel, being the man that I am, and hoping that you guys understand me, understand where I'm coming from. This whole concoction has kind of led to me wanting to do this episode today and talking about this. So this episode, we're gonna break down what is the fear of being seen, where does it come from, how does it manifest itself in modern day dating, and some tools and tricks to help fix it. So what is it? What is the fear of being seen? It's not just social anxiety, being like, oh, I'm afraid to go out and talk to people. It's the fear that if somebody got to know the true you, the you deep down, what you love, the bad things about you, the most authentic version of you, if they got to know that they would reject you, okay? And how does this start to show up in our lives as an adult? Okay, one of the ways is self-sabotage. That sort of starts for most people where maybe in your younger dating, let's talk about dating, going out dating, I love dating, I'm having so much fun on myself, and then you meet that perfect person. You met that guy who just drives you f***ing crazy, and he rejects you. He rejects you, and you feel like, wow, this guy got to know the real me, and he didn't like it. So then after that, what do? We sabotage dating going forward. You meet another good guy, you might run away from it. You might not let somebody close to you because of this one time, perhaps. Another way this could look is perfectionism, making sure everything's perfect. My hair's perfect, my outfit's perfect, my online presence is perfect, everything is perfect. I struggle with that with this show. I'll probably record this like 10 times, try to make it perfect. But ultimately, perfectionism and control, wanting that control, is part of the fear of being seen, right? If I just let loose and just let this show rip, maybe I'll only do it one time just to combat against myself there. That need for control, needing everything to be perfect, needing a perfectly curated everything, is the fear of being seen for who you really are, the true self. Like, hey, I might mess this up. I might say the wrong thing on a date. I might completely screw up all of this, and that's okay. But another way is avoiding the spotlight, avoiding saying and doing those things that are true to yourself, right? Maybe you have a joke, maybe you're on a date and you have a joke you want to say, or something that comes to mind. You have a belief or a thought that means a lot to you that you want to say, but you kind of shy back from saying it because God forbid you ruffle some feathers or you say or do the wrong thing and now he's going to hate you. Oh my God, he's going to run out of the date, or she's going to run out of the date. That's the fear of being seen. That's shying away from being your true self to try to appease someone else, to try to put on this facade that allows and keeps people just far enough from getting to know you where, like I said, you're in control. Right here is control. Bridging that gap here is letting go, being your authentic self. Where does it come from? Where does this come from? And there's a lot of places it can come from throughout our lives. But one spot is potentially, our childhood. Comparisons. Maybe your parents comparing you to Jenny down the street. Oh, why can't you get good grades like Jenny? Why can't you meet a nice boy like so-and-so? Why aren't you married yet? All those types of things. Comparisons start to feed into our brain of like, oh, I need to show up differently because who I am right now isn't enough, and it'll never be enough. So I have to sort of put on this facade and mask into a different version of myself because that's what the world wants. The world wants a different version of me because who I am right now isn't great. Another way this kind of shows up is, social programming. Cancel culture is kind of a thing that for most normal people, right, you're never gonna do anything that's crazy enough to be canceled, all right? There's some people out there who need to be canceled, so let's make sure those people are canceled. But those types of things sort of stop people from saying and being their authentic self. Social programming, even the social programming for men, that's a really big one that I think adds to a lot of problem in the dating space is men should be strong. Men should, be in control and strong, but like men are sad, men get sad too. Men have, men should be vulnerable, but they're afraid to because of that social programming of this is not good if you're like this. If a man is vulnerable and emotional, that's not good. I mean, I know I talk about men and their emotions, but there's a part where it gets too far. But you kind of understand what I'm saying. Hey, Sue. Yeah, I'm getting ready to head out. Got a big date tonight. Yeah, Rick, the janitor, came in. I chatted to him for a little bit. He was sweeping up. What do you mean Rick hasn't worked here in 10 years? Who's been mopping my floors? Are you subscribed to the YouTube channel? If you're not, I'm gonna count down. You better click subscribe by the time we get to 1. 3, 2, 1. So what does that look like for modern relationships? I mean, this is my area of expertise, is what I hear about all the time. And I don't know if you watched last week's episode, because we kind of touched on this at the end of that one. Situationships, okay? A lot of people say they're okay with casual and being in a situationship when really that's not what they want. That's not what they're after. But the reason why you do it is, like I was saying earlier, to keep someone right here, because someone getting close to you here, that's relinquishing control. That's saying, oh, he's gonna learn about my horrible relationship with my family, or he's gonna see that I don't really have my shit together. And for men, it's very similar too. I think I noticed this a lot in men, where a lot of guys will keep things casual for a really long time because of the fear of being seen that maybe they don't have it all together. Maybe their finances aren't great yet, and they wanna just keep things in control. There's a lot of control here. Relinquishing that control and allowing someone to get into your life, into your family, meet your friends, into your home. Like allowing somebody into your space and into your home is a really intimate thing. And it takes a level of vulnerability and acceptance that, hey, you know what? I love who I am, and this person's either hate it or love it. Another way this shows up in modern dating is ghosting. Okay, some people, this is even beyond situationship, some people will just completely avoid tough conversations and all this stuff altogether and just full on just ghost. Ghosting is another way of, I don't wanna be seen as a bad person. I don't wanna even allow this to get any closer than it has been. Just separate me entirely from this entire thing. Another way this can sort of manifest, and I think ladies, it probably affects you guys in this way a little bit more than men, because men's profiles are primarily them holding pictures of fish, but over curating your online presence, okay? Really, over editing things, showing up as this perfect, like I talked about earlier, perfectionism, this perfect version of you, everything's perfect, I'm at the best party, I'm doing this, these model pictures, hey, which is great if that's actually authentic to you and your life. Social media, there's so much of that nowadays where it is all this, everyone showing best, most perfect versions of themselves. So it's kind of hard. You have to feel like the only way I could find somebody or compete in this world is to be perfect also. When really, that's not what people want. People want the true you, that real stuff, okay? I think we lose a lot of that, that closeness to each other because things kind of stay very superficial. So that being said, how do we start to fix this? If you're someone who's relating to all those things I said, maybe you keep people at a distance in situationships, you're afraid of someone getting to know the real you, and you're noticing this pattern in your dating life where it's just like you kind of get that anxiety once things start to get close to being official. Maybe you met a great guy and you sabotage it because you've had these past guys and you're like, oh, I can't let that bad guy in, because if I let that bad guy in, he's gonna ruin my life, I'm gonna be sad again. So maybe you end up meeting the perfect guy for you and you sabotage it just to avoid that potential feeling. I see it a lot. So how do we overcome this? Awareness is the first step, okay? Self-accountability and awareness is the first step in starting to change these sort of thoughts and behaviors. Spot those moments, whether it's dating, whether it's, maybe trying to start a business, like I was saying earlier, be a content creator. Where do you start to feel that anxiety starting to build up within you? Is it, after a month or two of dating and he's gonna meet your family? Is it, I'm about to post this video and I'm starting to get kind of nervous? What is that feeling? Acknowledge the feeling, sit in it, and start asking yourself those questions. What am I scared of? What am I scared of? Why does that scare me? And just keep asking why. Why? Where does this come from? And try to get to the bottom of it. And once you get to the bottom of it, that doesn't mean that it's fixed, but now we're just starting to rise it to the surface. So we're like, okay, putting a spotlight on exactly what that problem is. Here's another way to fix it, and this is kind of like, it takes time to kind of get used to doing this, but little micro exposures. I like to say, throw yourself in the pool. If there's something that you're uncomfortable doing, throw yourself in the pool. It's not gonna fix itself right away, but the more you start to do it, the more it starts to feel normal, right? I'm throwing myself in the pool right now. This is the first time I'm doing an episode where I'm just talking straight to the camera, there's no guest. I'm throwing myself in the pool. I'm either gonna sink or swim, and you know what, if it doesn't work out and I gotta scrap this whole episode, all right, so what, I scrap it. But that has to be the mindset. I'm gonna put myself out there, relinquishing control. I can control this, and we can cut this clip 10 million times and get the perfect one, but that wouldn't be real. Experience those feelings. Experience the feelings that make you feel uncomfortable. And the last one, this is probably the most important thing I'm gonna say in this entire video. Reframe rejection. Because that's ultimately what we're nervous about, is being rejected. People not liking us, people rejecting us, people saying we're not good enough, we're not worthy to be in a relationship with them, or whatever that means. But rejection, there's 8 billion people in this world. If one person doesn't quite mesh with you where they want to feel like they want to be in a relationship with you, that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you. If anything, it means that you're doing the right thing and being polarizing, because we want to find our tribe, right? That's what they say, we want to find our tribe. I found my tribe. You're right there, the academy. I found my tribe. What's your tribe? So your friends are part of your tribe. Why do your friends love you, right? They know the true you and they love you. So why can't you find a man who fits into that same tribe? But you have to be willing to be yourself, to be authentic, to be vulnerable. A lot of people are like, oh, men are never vulnerable. But to me, it's like, as a woman too, it's like, you kind of gotta meet him halfway there too. The only way to make someone be vulnerable is to be vulnerable yourself. And that's the beautiful thing about dating, is two people and their faults and their shortcomings coming together and growing. That's the point of a relationship, is to grow together. Nobody's perfect. I am certainly not perfect. You're not perfect. My cameraman, my producer Chris is not perfect. No one's perfect, but that's okay. If you love and accept yourself, you can love and accept other people. And it always starts with you. If you don't love and accept yourself, how do you expect someone else to do that? It's not something that's gonna come together overnight where you're like, eureka, I'm healed tomorrow. No, it's not really like that. It takes time. Rejection is a sign that you're being authentic and that you're trying to find the people who are truly meant to be in your life. Okay, polarizing is good in that sense. Rejection is good. I would say if you're not getting rejected enough, then you're not doing the right thing. How do we summarize all this? The fear of being seen. It kind of holds us in this control mode where we're not being our true self. We're not showing up as that most authentic version, when really, if we start to bring some awareness to when we're showing those sorts of signs, we let go and just accept that not everyone's gonna love us, not everyone's gonna wanna be in a relationship with us, and that's okay. We'll start to change this pattern.